Hello everyone, today I'll be taking another look at one of NECA's 8-inch action figures. This is a pretty interesting line from NECA. Releases tend to be sporadic, and in terms of the figures themselves, they're somewhere between Amigo and a 1/6 high-end collectible figure. They have the scale and simplicity of Amigo figure, but they have the quality sculpts, the great articulation, and the very nice costumes that you'd associate with a high-end collectible. In terms of the properties they cover, there doesn't seem to be much rhyme or reason to them either. A lot of them have a horror focus, but not all of them. We've had Planet of the Apes in there and Escape from New York, but we also seem to see a lot of John Carpenter films. I've just mentioned Escape from New York, but we've also seen They Live, and of course today's offering The Fog. Now that's good news for me because I'm a huge John Carpenter fan, and I have to say, for me, I think The Fog ranks as one of his very best works. To date, we've only had the one figure from NECA so far in this line, but it is a good one. It is, of course, Captain Blake, the pirate ghost captain of the film. So let's start off by taking a look at the packaging. Well, it is in this big giant clamshell packaging that we've seen from the other figures in this line. On the right in the bubble we see the figure itself, and then on the left hand side we see some of this wonderful artwork that I think has been created especially for this release. Now if we take this card out of the packaging, we can see this is a nice sturdy piece of thick card, and wow, just look at this image. I think this is absolutely tremendous. High praise to the artist on this, because this is wonderfully evocative of the film and just creates such a wonderful atmosphere. I think this is lovely work. So yeah, hugely impressed with this. I think this is fantastic, and I'm really pleased to see that it is completely text free as well. This just looks tremendous. So yeah, if you put this on display, it's going to look absolutely fantastic. Now if we flip it over, on the back we can see the action figure in action there, looking pretty good, and we have a little bit of bio about the character in the film. I have to say, this figure is instantly impressive. There's such a lot of detail and texture on this figure that you can't help but notice it. It looks absolutely tremendous. And if we start off by looking at this head sculpt, we can see just so much effort and detail has gone into this that I think it's absolutely amazing. Now, in the film, we don't really get a nice close-up of Captain Blake. He's kept in shadow for most of the film, as he should be. Of course, he has those big glowing eyes, which we will come on to. But here, you know, NECA have used creative license, and this looks just fantastic. He's got that sort of zombified look there. His skin looks like it's coming away. He's got the missing teeth. He's got the beard. He's got so much going on. I don't know where to start really. But all of this sculpt is, of course, expertly capitalized on, because we see these wonderful paint apps that really bring out all of these details. I really love how we have this slight sort of neon purple sort of highlighting the top of the head there, creating more light and shadow. I think this looks absolutely wonderful. And of course we have lots of different skin tones. We've got darker skin there, but more decayed flesh. We have this sort of lighter grey on top of that. And you will notice that these eyes are already glowing when they have a light in them, but you have yet to see them really shine, and we will come back to that a little bit later. As you can see, NECA have worked really hard to seize the opportunity and really make the most of this costume as well. I really love all the rags and tears and cuts to this costume, the different textures that they've used as well. The tunic is a slightly different texture to the sort of rough, coarse undershirt that he's wearing, and in between the gaps we can see some of the grizzled flesh underneath. And again, there's a lot of detail here, a lot of paint apps being used to really distinguish between flesh and bone, and I think it looks absolutely tremendous. There's a lot of attention to detail gone into this, which looks wonderful. You'll notice he also has his scabbard. This is actually a separate piece that just plugs into place, and of course he does have a sword, which we will take a closer look at a little bit later, but of course that will go into this sheath very smoothly. He has blue cotton trousers, and then at the boots we can see these plastic pieces here, again very nicely sculpted, and a lot of paint apps being used here. Nice brown wash to make them look really dirty, muddy and well worn, and just very, very effective. If we look to the articulation, he does have a ball joint in the head, so he can spin his head all the way around. It can nod up and down a little bit and sort of lean left and right, but not a huge amount to give, to be honest. But he does have ball joints in the shoulders, so he can lift his arms up and out a pretty healthy distance, which is great. And if we rotate that shoulder joint around, we can see there is a single joint at the elbow there that allows that lower forearm to lift up to 90 degrees. Now there's also a pin swivel at the end of the wrist there, so the hand can rotate all the way around, and of course there's a hinge on it that will allow it to bend forwards and backwards as well. He only seems to have a straight swivel at the waist, so he can move from side to side, but he can't really lean left or right or bend forwards and backwards, sadly. Now there are ball joints in the hips, so of course he can kick his legs out to the side a little bit, and he can also kick those legs forwards and backwards. Now there's another single joint at the knee, so we can kick that lower leg back up to about 90 degrees, and then as you can see there is one final hinge at the ankle, allowing the foot to kick forwards and backwards. As you'd expect, he's quite light on accessories. He has a scabbard, and of course he has this sword as well, this cutlass, which looks really, really good. I think they've done an excellent job capturing the detail and the sculpt of this, and again, those paint tabs are fantastic. The silver of the blade is very reflective, which is great, and the gold trim around the hilt looks really good as well. Now, as you would hope, he has no problems holding this sword. It fits very snugly into his grip, and it looks pretty impressive when he does. But the pierce, the resistance, the absolute best thing about this figure is the glowing eyes. There is a little switch in the back of his head, and when you click that switch on, wow, these luminous eyes just blaze. If I didn't already love this figure by this point, this absolutely takes it over the top. This is absolutely amazing. It makes this figure feel really unique and distinct and different. I think they've done an absolute tremendous job with this figure all in all. It looks really nice, it moves pretty nice as well, and then to just cap it off, yeah, a fantastic accessory in the sword, but those eyes, wow, damn, they're so bright. It's really, really cool. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of this. I think this looks absolutely fantastic, and top marks to NECA, because this is one of my favourites in this 8-inch scale line. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a like, and remember to subscribe, as there'll be plenty more videos soon.